What's up, YouTube? Maverick Hunter Justin here, back with my 6th episode of my P5G series, Pokemon 5th Generation set list. The first 5 I did in order, starting with Kanto and then moving on to Unova in chronological order. Now I'm just kind of skipping around to see what I like. As you probably know already, if you've seen any of my other videos, Hoenn is my favorite generation, and in 5th gen, they actually released a new tier, RU. It's rarely used. It's between NU and UU. And basically the reason for adding a new tier is just because once the OU, Uber, OU, and UU tiers were done, there was over 2/3 of the population of fully evolved Pokemon still left to be in NU, and that's just too big a number to be in one tier. So they split it up, made this rarely used tier to just kind of give it a little bit different feel to the game. And I really like it. It's actually my favorite tier right now in 5th gen. And so we're going to do Hariyama. He's a pure fighting type. He's from Hoenn, like I said. And he is RU. Last gen, he was UU. He's pretty good. He's got, like, I think a 110 HP with 125 or 130 attack. Decent round defenses. I think he's got like 60 for both, which isn't that great, but he is a decent tank. And he used to have guts for attacking and thick fat for walling. Now he gets a new ability, in the dream world, known as sheer force, which basically gives you a 30% increase in power for any move that has a percentage chance of having a secondary effect. Like Thunderbolt has a 10% chance to paralyze your opponent when it hits. That move, it will never use your secondary effects, but it will get a 30% increase in power, physical or special. And then another cool thing is if you have a Life Orb on your Pokemon with Sheer Force and you use a move like Thunderbolt, you get the increase from Life Orb, the 30% increase from Life Orb, but you do not take the 10% recoil every time you do damage. So it's really nice. You can consider yourself as a Bandit or Scarf or Specs Poke, and you're doing a ton of damage. You're actually doing more damage than if you were Specs or Bandit, for instance, because you're getting technically a 60% increase rather than 50. So it's very, very nice. So we're going to jump right in here and see what this guy's got going on. For nature, we're going to go with Adamant. It's plus attack, minus special attack. You can go with other things. You can go with things like Brave for Trick Room because he is relatively slow. But for this one, it's just kind of standard. Just in case, depending on what my team composition is, I can Baton Pass. If I get a chance to Baton Pass, like with Ninja, speed, and attack, you know what I mean? He can actually do a decent job at sweeping, even though he's a bulky set. The EV spread is max HP, max attack. You might notice that I'm doing 255 rather than 252 with an extra 6. I just, the extra 6 really is only going to give you 1, maybe 2 stat points difference, so I just don't really add it on there. It's the same basic thing. But yeah, max HP, max attack. So he's basically going to be a tank form. He's going to, because he's pure fighting, he does resist quite a bit. So you can switch in on certain moves. Depending on what your team is facing up against, it's pretty easy to switch in, and he's pretty bulky, so he can take stuff pretty well. And he's max attack. He's going to be dealing a lot of damage with the sheer force boost and stuff like that. He's going to be doing a lot of damage. You're going to definitely see a difference in power between this one and the guts boosted one from 4th gen. Alrighty, for the move set. I go Force Palm, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Fire Punch. It's very nice type coverage. It's unresisted. There's not one Pokemon in the game that can come in and resist any one of those 4 moves. And because you're not choiced, you can switch up your attacks at will. Force Palm and Thunder Punch are staples. Force Palm over close combat, Brick Break, other superpower, things like that. First and foremost, this is a Sheer Force set, and Force Palm is the only move that he gets. And actually, now that I think about it, I think Force Palm is the only fighting move in the game that it would get a Sheer Force boost, because it has the 30% chance of paralysis. Obviously, you'll never paralyze. It's got a 60 base power, and you get a 60% increase in power plus stab. So you're going to be doing quite a bit of damage. I think that's pretty close to what close combat does without taking Life Orb recoil and without dropping your defenses every time you do damage. Thunder Punch is a staple because he is in RU, so I plan my Pokemon to fight in their own tiers. I plan them for the tiers that they're in. I don't really worry about if they're in RU, oh, pack Earthquake for Heatran. It doesn't really, you know what I mean? How many times are you really going to see, Hariyama versus Heatran? Probably not too much. So I do run Thunder Punch as a staple because there are so many flying types and so many water types in RU, and I'm thinking right now, and I can't think of anything that's fully evolved. Gligar, obviously, but that's fully evolved that is a flying and ground type or something that would resist Thunder Punch while being flying. So it hits all the flyings for super effective damage, and it also hits, or for super effective or neutral, being the Emolga would be neutral because it's part electric. I digress. And also hit all the waters minus Lantern, who has Volt Absorb for super effective damage, or other things like Seeking with Lightning Rod, random stuff like that. But for the most part, it's going to be doing a lot of damage. It's the best out of the 3 punches. It's going to be the one that hits neutral or super effective the most. You can, for the third one, you can either go with Ice Punch. It's really not needed. There are quite a bit of ground types. So you can go with that. If you're having trouble with certain pokes, you can easily switch in Rock Slide there. It'll do a great job either way. I personally just go with Ice Punch because there are a few ground types, and because it does have perfect or 100% accuracy, and Rock Slide does have 90. So I just go with that just for the little added bonus right there. And for the last one, you can either go Fire Punch, or you could also do a Bulk Up set. Like if you're running Bulk Up with Sheer Force, you're going to be doing an extremely amount of damage, along with giving you a defense boost every time, so you can actually be even more tanky. It's just your preference depending on your team composition. Fire Punch is to take out the massive amount of bug and grass types in RU. It's all around. It just rounds off the set really nice for me. But it's really just whatever your preference. Either one will do great. I can't say which one's better or worse. It's just a matter of what you want to do versus what you don't. That's pretty much it. And for items, like I said, I run Life Orb because it does get the added bonus of Sheer Force to not take recoil, but still give the 30% increase. It's really does do a lot of damage, and you can conceal yourself. Like I said, you can kind of bluff the band on this guy or other people. You can bluff Scarves or Specs, whatever. You can bluff the choice item, and what I mean by that is switch in, hit him with a move, and if it's viable to you, you can switch back out if you need to, and not really conceal the fact that you can switch your moves until you need to. They can kind of overbreak and be like, okay, this guy's choice, I can switch in on this and I'll be safe, and then you hit him and surprise him like, oh crap, he's got the Sheer Force Life Orb, and it's a nice way to catch him off guard. You can run leftovers for if you're doing the bulk up set. I would recommend that to be more of a Wally tanky set rather than the offense. Just gives you that added bonus every turn, which is very nice. Or you could actually still run the choice band, and then you'll be doing even more damage because you'll have the 30% increase from Sheer Force with the 50% increase from choice band, and you'll be doing a shit ton of damage. It's really kind of whatever your team needs. 90% of I have run the choice band a few times, and it does do pretty nice. As a revenge or kind of predicting switches kind of thing. The Life Orb is the one that I do run the most. That's just the one I prefer because it gives you the option to switch up your attacks without having to switch out your Pokemon. So yeah, that is my P5G series episode on Hariyama. I hope you guys try him out. He's a really, really versatile Pokemon in this generation. You could also, I have something I forgot to mention in the move pool. You could also put Whirlwind on him for phasing, because there's a lot of people who try to set up nowadays, especially in RU. There's a lot of baton passing going on, whether it be Ninjask doing the thing that he's been doing since 4th gen and 3rd gen when he came out. And also now there's Shell Smash baton passing Gorbis, which I'll get into that in probably a couple episodes. So having Whirlwind is a really big plus in RU, especially because there are very few viable rapid spinners in RU. There's only a couple that are really worth mentioning. Having Stealth Rocks plus Whirlwind for that added phasing is a very, very nice combo. Rack up damage on your opponent's rather quickly to get that residual damage and get some scouting in. But yeah, try out Hariyama. Leave comments below. Let me know how your sets work. Let me know what sets you use. Let me know what you think about my P5G series. And if you haven't noticed already, I am back in business for narrated Pokemon battles. I've got a video that I just uploaded a couple days ago, and I got another one coming either today or tomorrow. So yeah, stay tuned for that and comment. Leave a little like if you like the videos. Leave a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Peace.